Record. Alright guys, hope you guys had a good work week. I just got done with another 6-day haul. Hopefully this is the last run for another week. Before we get started, I think I need to address how my last stream went. Partway through the stream, the damn thing froze on me, which is a little embarrassing, especially since I didn't notice it until the very next day. Since then, I've researched the problem to make sure that doesn't happen again, and ready to get a second try. Again, I'm still very new at this, sort of figuring it out as I go. Please be patient with me. So this week, we're going to be getting into what's easily my favorite video game franchise of all time, and that's Sonic the Hedgehog, specifically the original 1991 game. So it's hard to talk about the first Sonic game without, talking about where Sega was at the time, or really the video game industry in general. Nintendo basically owned the industry in the late 80s and early 90s. After bringing the industry back from the dead from the video game crash of 1983, they were basically the video game console. Several people tried to dethrone them at the time. Atari gave it a shot, but they didn't get very far. Sega was coming close with the Sega Master System, but that was still a very distant second. But they weren't willing to give up, so for their next console, the Sega Genesis, they essentially went after Nintendo in every way they could. They made sure the hardware was superior. It was 16-bit versus 8-bit with the Genesis. They wanted they marketed as a more mature option compared to Nintendo, and they were a lot less restrictive on their licensing deals, whereas Nintendo had very strict licensing deals, which really annoyed a lot of third parties, which is why so many ended up flocking to the Sega Genesis. And that actually did work for them. They actually did start to get a good share of the video game industry. But over time, they realized that it wasn't going to last, especially when Nintendo announced the Super Nintendo, which would basically remove the fact that they had the superior technology from the table. And so what they decided they needed to keep interest in the Genesis was a killer app, a mascot platformer like what Nintendo had with Mario. Through a long process that I'm not going to go into right now, they came up with Sonic the Hedgehog, which was a massive hit when it came out, and it really started pushing the Genesis a lot further than anyone was expecting when they started packing Sonic in with the Genesis along with the price drop. That was when they took a 50% share from Nintendo of the video game industry, which was just unheard of at the time, and that's why we have console wars today. As for my personal experience with the series, Sonic has always been near and dear to my heart, so much so that for my first year of doing the blog, I did a great big retrospect of the series in June of 2016, where I played every single game in the series, save for a couple of obscure arcade titles that I don't really have a legit way of playing. And obviously I want to do Sonic for the live stream here, but I don't want to do it consistently because I don't want it to be strictly a Sonic channel. So what I've decided to do is every month we're going to take a look at an entry in the series, and then we'll just keep doing that until we run out of Sonic games, at which point we're going to go to Mario, then Castlevania, and so forth. And of course, we got to start with the original Sonic the Hedgehog. As for how I'm playing this game, I've decided to play the version off the Sonic Origins collection. And I can hear a lot of Sonic faithful yelling at the top of their lungs, "Oh, that's a terrible collection. Why are you playing that?" Fair. There are a lot of problems with Sonic Origin. The ports of Sonic 2 and 3 have issues. The port of Sonic CD is extremely lazy. But the port of Sonic 1 actually is very good. And the reason for that is they actually had time to, make sure it was good, whereas everything else they sort of had to rush it out the door. So this is the best version of Sonic 1 in my opinion, which is why I'm choosing it to play this way. So you need to put 2 hours on the clock. Let's see here. Got a nice cold beer to drink after a long, hard work day. A lot of people, they often ask what my favorite beer is, and they always laugh at the answer I give them, which is Sweet Baby Jesus. Then they ask if it's a real beer. It's a real beer, Sweet Baby Jesus. It's a peanut butter chocolate porter. This is my favorite. It's good stuff. Anyway, let's get started. The real heroes of the franchise, so for the moment. Say what you will about the Sonic Origins collection, but I mean, the packaging is nice. And of course, one of the all-time great title screens. The graphic design is great. The way it shows off the graphics is fantastic. And it really sets the statement with Sonic's attitude right from the beginning. One of the all-time great title screens. Kind of annoying that it didn't give me time to actually talk about it before I went to the trial though. And of course we're going to play as Sonic. No. Green Hill Zone. So we get right into the gameplay. No real story. So I guess I'll summarize what's in the manual. The evil Dr. Robotnik, that's Dr. Eggman for you guys who have only recently joined the series. And he has come to the island of South Island to capture the little critters that live there and turn them into his robot slaves. The only person who can stop them is the one true blue dude himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. Pretty basic plot, and that was really standard for the time. In those days, story in video games was really just context. And I've actually met some people who feel that's how it should always be with video games. And that does lead to an interesting talking point. Does story have a place in video games? And personally, I feel yes. If you've read my blog, you know when I rate games, I look at story, general presentation, the gameplay difficulty, and content on offer. So story obviously does mean a lot to me, but that's not to say that a game can't be good if it doesn't have a story. There are plenty of games that get by purely on gameplay. We don't remember Sonic, we don't remember Mario, we don't remember Doom for their complex stories. We remember them for the gameplay. But it also swings the other way. There are games I played that don't really hold up from a gameplay perspective, but are still worth playing today just because the stories are so good. And the prime example for me is Silent Hill 2. Mechanically, that game just doesn't hold up, like, at all. No! You can actually retry on Sonic Origins if you pay some coins, but just because I want to keep things moving, I'm not going to do that. I have actually gotten the Chaos Emeralds and finished the game on one occasion, but it's something I've never been able to repeat, honestly. What was I saying? Story in video games. Oh yeah. Games can be good just on the merit of their stories, as long as the gameplay is at least serviceable. So if a game has fantastic gameplay in addition to a good story, that tends to get rated higher on my blog. But that's just a personal opinion, and again, everything I say on this blog, on this stream, is my own opinion. I'm not trying to present anything I say as fact. So, talking about the game proper, probably the first thing you'd notice are the graphics, which really do a good job showing what the Genesis was capable of. Like, there's just so much detail here. The background is really cool, the way it scrolls, the way it moves, all the sprite layers there, slightly animated too. And the fact that it all runs so well is really impressive for the time too. Now, it's been well documented that the Super Nintendo was a superior console in terms of hardware. But if you compare this to its close contemporary at the time, which was Super Mario World, I would say Sonic looks a lot better. Now, it's not to say Super Mario World doesn't look good. It does, but it always felt a little flat to me. It isn't as animated. It just feels like Sonic has more life to it. It's a fine example of art trumping hardware limitations. I like to look at hardware as sort of like an artist's tools, their medium. You can have the best quality Damn. I'm losing credibility as a Sonic fanboy here. You can have the best tools, you can have the best medium, but it doesn't mean anything if the artist using it doesn't know what they're doing. And of course the music. The Sega Genesis was notorious for its sound chip, which had a certain characteristic to it. It sounded very synthesized, like broken synthesizer. So it was hard for a lot of people to get good music on it. So the fact that the music in the first Sonic game is so good is really impressive. Good music would become a staple for the series. Even the worst Sonic games have decent music. See, just look at how that background is moving. Like, you got different layers back there. Don't want to go that way. Remember as a kid, that would always trip me up. A lot more animation in this game too. For example, if you leave Sonic just sitting idle for a while, he'll actually tap his foot impatiently. Like he's annoyed that you're not playing the game and just leaving him sit there. If you do that with Mario in Mario World, Mario just doesn't do anything. There's more character, that's a good way to do it. There's more character in this game. Speaking of character... Alright, I can't hit him in this version. Dr. Ivo Robotnik, aka Dr. Eggman. And of course, the tradition of him trying to fight Sonic with a horribly impractical machine. A lot of people like to pick on Eggman for that, but I feel like this first fight really does demonstrate him as a character. I've always described Eggman is he's a genius. He's capable of building these deadly monster machines at an alarming rate. I mean, he can turn living creatures into robots, for crying out loud. The dude's a genius. But he's also prone to gross miscalculation. He's so confident in what a genius he is. He overlooks so many things about his plans, and that's usually why Sonic, who is nowhere near as smart as he is usually able to beat him. And that's a character trait that has endured for about every character, I think. Every version of the character, I think. Even with the Sad AM version, which was a very dark and sinister take on the character. And now we get to Marble Zone here. This is where the game really begins, in my opinion. Not just because this is the first zone to really challenge the player, but also because this is where the first Sonic game sort of shows its hand. And what I mean by that, it's here that you realize that the first Sonic doesn't put a whole lot of emphasis on speed. Now, it's not to say speed isn't still an important aspect of the game, it certainly is. But the first Sonic game is really more of a platformer than anything. A more basic platformer, I mean. All the mainline Sonic games are platformers. Now, I've heard a lot of people actually express displeasure with that, and I do understand that mindset. It doesn't fit in exactly with what you expect from the series, but there are a couple of reasons why I say it's okay. For one, this was the first game in the series, so there wasn't really a clear idea of what they were doing yet. Second, a lot of people don't realize that the first Sonic game was something of a rush job. They had less than a year to really figure everything out and put the game together. So it kind of makes sense that it would be kind of basic. And third, and probably most important, it's just a really fun platformer. Marble Zone sort of exemplifies why. Because the level design here is just so much fun. You're like platforming around these dangerous booby traps. It's really exciting. One of the most important aspects of any platformer is, of course, the control. And this is something else that they got really right with Sonic initially. Unlike Mario, which uses 2 buttons, Sonic only uses 1, which is reserved for the jump button. So, despite the game focusing more on speed, it sort of forgoes the run button from Super Mario Bros. And one could argue that gives you less control. But the thing about Sonic is, when you push forward on the joystick, or D-pad in this case, he doesn't immediately jump to light speed. And that's a good thing because he has to gradually pick up that speed, so you have a little more precision than you otherwise would. It's how you can usually tell a good Sonic game from a bad Sonic game if they've got the physics right versus if they just screwed it up. That was close. Like, some of the bad Sonic games, one of the problems they have is you pick up speed way too fast. Or, even worse, they feel the need to put a run button in there. And then you just find yourself holding down that button for the entirety of the game because they usually made Sonic's default speed really slow. Man, I'm not doing so hot. I must be getting rusty. I always like to wait here and watch the lava catch up. Nice. See, look. He's tapping his foot. He wants to get going. Be patient, Sonic. Every time I get to this level, the first thing that comes to mind is like that scene from Sonic Sat AM where he's entering an evildoer's lair and he comes across a bridge and there's a bunch of pendulums swinging in the way. And rather than panic or anything else a regular character would do, Sonic just smiles, says, "Piece of cake," and then just starts hopping across the traps. Right there's usually a quirk in these Sonic games, in this Sonic game, where if you jump right there, Sonic won't curl into a ball, he'll just stay in his run cycle, which has always been really amusing. But this is the Sonic Origins version, which irons out a lot of the glitches from the previous game. And of course, beefs the game up to widescreen, so we can appreciate the game in all its glory. My score just hit 5,000, so I got myself a continue there. I want to call myself an expert on Sonic 1, at least in regards to gameplay. I played enough to where I can get to the end, but not enough to where I can blaze through it. I can't help but get all the blocks in these games, in this game. Frickin' caterpillar. That's actually what you call that caterpillar. Da, 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 da. Let's see if I can get the Chaos Emerald this time. Probably won't have been doing too well with that so far. Maybe that's what I get for trying to play this game while drinking a beer. Oh! No! I am ashamed. Ah, didn't mean to do that. Right? Yeah. Interesting tidbit about the first Sonic game. There are actually only 6 Chaos Emeralds in this game. I have a feeling they added the 7th one in Sonic 2 so that they could justify why Sonic didn't go supersonic when he got all the Chaos Emeralds in this game. Go! One question I often get asked by people who are unfamiliar with Sonic are, what are the significance of the rings within the context of the game? And in regards to the video games, they've never actually given an explanation of what the rings are, but they have in the Archie comics and by extension the Sat AM cartoon. Essentially what they are is a byproduct of the Chaos Emeralds that occurs when you place them in a special container and typically within a body of water. And what that does is creates sort of a solid band of energy. So when Sonic collects a ring, he's not necessarily putting it in his pocket, but more or less absorbing the energy. And that's what that energy does, is protect him from any fatal damage. So when he gets hit, he loses all his rings, or I guess in a sense his power. Another thing the Sat AM and the Archie comics introduced was Sonic can use a power ring to increase his abilities, typically giving him a boost of speed. And they would eventually translate that into the games too with Sonic Unleashed, where collecting the rings would fill up the boost gauge. Actually, that was Sonic Rush when that was introduced. And the Archie comics, it was also balanced out by the fact that the power of the rings doesn't last terribly long when you use it like that. Which is also why it wasn't terribly dangerous if Eggman got his hands on it. Though he could still make decent use of it. The Chaos Symbols are typically found in what's called the Special Zone, which is another dimension within the world of Sonic the Hedgehog. So when you see the rings around like this, it's because they're spilling out of the Special Zone, which is usually an indication that a way into the Special Zone is nearby. And again, none of this is canon. This is all stuff that was made up for the Archie comics. But it's an interesting talking point, and given how many of the abilities carried over into the video games from Sat AM and the Archie comics, it's just usually what I say when people ask that question. Now, the rings can't protect you from everything. Sonic can still be crushed, for instance, and they won't save his life from drowning. But if I were to, of course, take a hit from an enemy, try to impale Sonic on a spike or anything else that would typically kill someone, Sonic would just have all the rings knocked out of him rather than taking the fatal shot. But if you take a fatal shot without any rings, then yeah, Sonic's kind of dead at that point. Yeah, see, not terribly fast here, just kind of trying to avoid extra crispy hedgehog. A really morbid thought just popped into my head. There isn't a culture in the world that eats hedgehogs, is there? I've heard of some cultures where they eat guinea pigs, which is a little messed up. But I guess food is, hard to come by in some parts of the world. By the way, real-life hedgehogs are adorable. It's amazing they were able to make one like Sonic look so cool. Make him head bob. Okay, made it through the temple just fine, no problem. Watch the fireballs. Checkpoint, and now it's time for round 2 with old Dr. Eggman, who is now trying to get me with a flamethrower. I don't think he learned his lesson from the first encounter. I think his plan here is to try and force Sonic into the lava. But if that is his intention, he's not doing a very good job at it. Dr. Eggman, the world's dumbest smart guy. Give Eggman credit too, he's a durable son of a gun too. How many of his inventions have literally blown up in his face and had him survive? Okay, Spring Yard. So Springard is an interesting stage because this was the first level in the series to introduce pinball elements. One second, I just got a request to turn up the game volume. Let's see here. Hope that's better for you guys. That usually doesn't happen. So yeah, this is the first stage to introduce the pinball level theme. The very skin deep, I would say. Later games, they would essentially have Sonic running around, rolling around on bona fide pinball tables, essentially. But here, all it really boils down to are just pinball bumpers. Again, they probably wanted to do more with that. It wouldn't surprise me. But they were kind of on the clock with this one. And it was probably something they thought of at the last minute. But this one that seems to be the bigger thing are springs. In regards to the last stage, Marble Zone. Marble Stone has always been sort of my favorite stage in Sonic 1, which I hear is an odd choice for a lot of people. But with the way the levels are designed, I just feel it has the best level design with the booby traps and everything. Now, it's not to say the other levels in Sonic 1 get worse, but each one has an annoying little characteristic that I just don't care for. For example, what I don't like in Springard is this stuff right here. Just waiting for these blocks to move around. It's just kind of tedious. Now, there were sections in Marble Zone where you had to wait around too, but you're avoiding booby traps and pits of lava, dude. It's a little more exciting to make your way through that. It's just when I think of the first Sonic game, the first stage that comes to mind is either Green Hill Zone or, what is it? Marble Zone. Okay, I gotta get at least one Chaos Emerald. No! Damn! Once. I got all the emeralds once. It was not that rewarding, it was just something that happened by complete accident. Gotta love the bad Nick bounce. Some people have wondered when I hit a slope why I roll into the ball. Well, if you roll into the ball in Sonic 1, Sonic actually picks up more speed. When he's just running, he'll only go so fast, even if you are on a slope. Plus, it just makes you safer. You roll into the ball, unless you run into something that would physically hurt Sonic, you're, in a sense, invincible. That's what I hate about the crab meats in this level. They will occasionally randomly shoot energy balls, which the ones in Green Hill Zone couldn't do. Go! Pick up some speed for this jump. Here's some pinball bumpers. Da, da, da. And dude, the track here is funky fresh, isn't it? Did I really just say that on live stream? God. Whoa, that's close. What? Not getting me this time, roly poly. Or is that an armadillo? I think this is just going to take me backwards. Okay, I don't know why I did that. Yes, you do have the spin dash in this version of Sonic 2. Not Sonic 2, Sonic the Hedgehog. They added it for Sonic Origins. But I'm trying not to use it because, believe it or not, the spin dash was initially in the first Sonic game. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? It's kind of like Spider-Man without his web shooters in the first issue of Spider-Man, isn't it? No. No. No, no, no. Up. That's right, Sonic, up! No, not that way! Alright, we're getting somewhere. Oh, I just want one emerald! Yes! I got one! I want to say this place is like a meat grinder, but anyone who says that has never gotten to Scrap Brain Zone. I also have the drop dash from Sonic Mania in this game. Again, trying not to play with those gameplay mechanics because, well, I want to play this as you would the original Sonic game. Whoa! Sometimes you get excited. Okay, not gonna get crushed this time. Don't shoot energy at me. Stupid crab meat. It's a little weird that the crab meats turn into chickens, isn't it? That's another thing I don't like about these blocks. You never know if you're supposed to go up or down. think with how many times I played this, I will remember. Ah. Go. Hey, look, piggies. Damn, now I'm hungry. That's a weird quirk of mine. Every time I see a pig of any time, I get hungry for bacon. There's something seriously wrong with me. Da, 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 da. Gotta pick up some speed this way. Oh! Ah. There's a bottomless pit right there. I could have died. Like I said, I'm no expert at this game, but I played it enough. Alright, round 3. What you got this time, Eggman? That is another poorly thought out plan. Again, give him credit for trying to take out Sonic's footing. If you're going to deal with Sonic, that is probably the best way of doing it. But, dude, you're going so slow. Why not just plant bombs and take out the flooring immediately? Why waste the time with this? Get a little tight here, though. Hopefully I got enough room to beat him. Ooh, this is getting really tight, isn't it? This might be a better plan than I thought it would be. Nah, he's done. And unfortunately, folks, we have dropped down into the lowest point for Sonic 1. We are about to hit what is easily the worst level in the game. A bottomless abyss. No, it only has Labyrinth Zone. I hate this level so much. And I am not alone in that statement. Everyone hates this level. For one reason and one reason only. Water. So, Sonic's creators, they decided to not give Sonic the ability to swim because they were under the impression that hedgehogs couldn't swim, which obviously isn't true. Hedgehogs actually can swim, which is why you often see cute little videos of them curled up into a ball and just chilling there in a sink taking a bath. But it's just a characteristic of Sonic that has stuck over the years. And for good reason too. Sonic has, if you know the Sonic series, you know that Sonic just becomes absurdly powerful as the years go by. He's one of the most powerful characters within his series. So you do need to have something to balance him out. So I feel like Sonic not being able to swim, it was something of a happy accident, as we artists call stuff like that. It was obviously a mistake, but it worked out in the end. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out very well from a gameplay perspective. Part of the reason water is so widely hated in Sonic games is for two reasons. One, it slows you down, which nobody likes in a Sonic game. Everyone wants to go fast in these games. And second, and most importantly, is Sonic cannot breathe underwater. So you'll see here, I'm stopping at these like little bits of bubble and catching my breath. Okay, that's crap design right there. I can't get the bubble there. That's how you keep Sonic from drowning in this game. And believe me, the game will let you know if Sonic is about to drown. It is one of the most stressful sounds in video game history. Urgh. God, I hate this level. One thing I didn't notice about this stage until someone pointed it out to me is like, you see the little symbols there on the wall. One of them looks like an owl of some kind. Someone has brought up the theory that those symbols is sort of what inspired the character of Longclaw in the Sonic movie. Which, if it is, that's an interesting thought. Level still sucks though. Really, really, really sucks. Waiting for these things to bubble up is really annoying too. Why can't the pressure just stay down? I just realized one of those little animals is a rock hopper penguin. That's kind of cute. See, like, how about instead of having to get the big bubble itself, why not just give Sonic an air meter that slowly refills when he's standing where those bubbles are? Because one of the annoying things is if you need air and the timer starts to tick down, a lot of times if there hasn't been a big bubble bubbling up yet, then you are still essentially screwed. Gotta be careful here, that's a trap. See? Now, I know there's an invincibility box up there, but that's not really going to help me here. Because invincibility... Oh! That was close. I hate this level so much. Now, water levels would become a recurring stage hazard in Sonic the Hedgehog. Like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, even Sonic CD, and the advanced games, they would all have water levels too. But they were all vastly superior to Labyrinth Zone, and the reason for that is they didn't always force you to go into the water. The big issue with Labyrinth Zone is that, like, the path the game wants you to take through it, it essentially requires that you make your way through underwater tunnels. And because of that, it's just really slow paced, really unsatisfying, and again, extremely stressful. Not terribly appealing graphic-wise either. That's a really ugly shade of, I want to say, orange? Okay, there's a switch right here I gotta hit. Oh. Grab this invincibility thing so I can get through these spears without being harassed. It just sucks having to stop and wait for the bubbles to bubble up. God, what I'm saying feels redundant. That right there is just annoying enemy placement. If you're going to put that one here, why not raise the ceiling a little bit so I can at least jump over the spikes? This guy, at least I can just duck. Degenerate. Ah, crap, 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 crap. Bubble up, bubble up. All Sonic fans hate that sound. It also freaks me out these days. I was a lifeguard for 10 years, and I remember one instance where I had to pull someone out from the deep end, and the strap on my rescue tube broke, so I had to haul them up by myself. And I couldn't help but start hearing that sound in my head as my lungs started to burn for oxygen. I don't know why I'm laughing about that. That was a really scary incident. I saw some scary stuff as a lifeguard. Alright, see if I can get another Chaos Emerald. I think I'm pretty much set now. No, no. I see that pit. I don't want to go over there. Oh, stupid bumpers! No, no, no! It's like that gag in Family Guy with Cleveland in the bathtub. No, 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 no! No, 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 no! No, no, no! Wait, look at the birds in the background. Wait a sec, I need to focus. Aha! Yeah, a red one and a gray one. I can live with that. Reminds me of the time I was a pirate. They made me dress up as one at Disney's Yacht and Beach Club. Had me slide down the slide and let kids throw water balloons at me. Fortunately, the kids are really bad at it, so I eventually had to move in front of one of the water balloons. That's actually kind of fun. Dang it, jumped too early. Ugh. God, I hate that sound so much. I hate this level so much. Just want to be done with it. Oh! Spike up the butt. Whew. Still some catchy music though. Yeah, I know, Sonic. We'll get moving here soon. Probably should catch some breath. I'm pretty sure I just opened up the passage down here. Urgh. Trying to remember what those things are called. I'll just call them grounders. Just walk across until you come across this guy. I somehow collected that ring, that's weird. Alley-up. Hold your breath just a little bit longer, Sonic. We're almost out of here. Crap, 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 crap. Ah. I wonder if the guy who came up with that tune realized what he was doing to the kids who played this game. Yes, I know Sonic. I didn't design the level like this. Don't look at me like that. Now for what is probably A-Man's best attempt to beat Sonic here. Rather than trying to fight him, he's just leaving Sonic to drown in this booby trap filled cavern. Honestly, not a bad strategy. This is actually kind of tricky to get through. Though, if he had thought more about it, he would have brought some seismic charges to throw down there with Sonic. which would have definitely killed him. You ever hear the old saying, shooting fish in the barrel? Part of the reason why we say that when we refer to something that's easy is all you really have to do is shoot into the barrel and you kill all the fish, because the shockwave of the bullets entering the water, fly through it at, like, I want to say supersonic speeds. It kills all the fish in there regardless of if you actually hit them or not. Mythbusters proven fact. Starlight Zone. Hey look, bomb. No, that's actually what it's called, just bomb. Probably the only level in the game that really takes advantage of the speed physics in this game. You got loop-de-loops, corkscrews, all that fun stuff. Maybe not corkscrews. They don't have the graphic technology for that yet. Oh! I said back in Spring Yard, there are elements of the levels in this game that I don't like, and this is one thing. Like right here, not having enough speed to get up there, so you have to backtrack and then get up there, which is just really aggravating. I guarantee this is the level that inspired them to put the spin dash in the later games. I, of course, can't prove that, but I remember when I first played Sonic Origins and just not using the spin dash, because there just really was no reason to do that. In Sonic 1, it wasn't really designed with it in mind. But then I got to this level with those annoying quarter pipes, and it just made getting through the level so much easier. So yeah, this is probably why they decided to add the spin dash. It just probably made sense. Whoa, almost landed on that thing. Woo! Blast processing, baby! Now, obviously blast processing, that wasn't a thing. Sega's even admitted that was just a marketing ploy. I think they were mostly just referring to how well this game could run at such high speeds. A lot of people don't appreciate these days, but scrolling actually was a major innovation back in the day. Like, early PCs at the time actually couldn't scroll. They had to go by screen sort of deal. So for something like this to scroll as fast as it does, it probably was very eye-catching at the time. There was a time when consoles were actually more powerful than PCs. That started to change when Quake came out, I think, which was the first game that comes to mind where you could add different parts to your computer to sort of beef up the processing power, like graphics card and whatnot. Because with Quake, you could run it on any computer at the time, but if you added a better graphics card, you could play the game at a higher resolution with sharper graphics and what have you. Okay, looks like the Chaos Emeralds are looping now. I don't remember them looping in the original game. Maybe that's something for Sonic Origins. Well, I got 3 emeralds now. Red, white, and blue. Neat. Already at Act 3? Huh. Man, this is a fast stage. Woo! Like a shooting star. Okay. Aha! Da, 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 da. But this really does feel more in line with what I expect from Sonic. I wonder if this was sort of the basis for this level design moving forward. Ah! Did not mean for that to happen. Huh, suddenly on the lower end. Not cool, not cool. Ah! Stupid fan. Just one bomb didn't explode. That's weird. Urgh. Now let's screw it. See how much easier that is? Haha, not this time. I fell for that again. Not gonna get me this time, though. Haha. Seriously, why does that thing need to be there? He's coming towards me. I can't get away. I think I've almost lost him. Why am I going anywhere? And another one of Eggman's dumber attempts to fight Sonic. I mean, give him credit, he is at least staying out of Sonic's range this time. Like, I can't jump up high enough to get him. But Eggman has a substance called Mega Muck, which actually can stop Sonic from moving if he can catch him with it. So why didn't he just coat the floor with Mega Muck? Why waste time with these stupid seesaws? What's wrong with you, Eggman? You're supposed to be smarter than this. Lots of pigs in that one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to hell. Or as fans of Sonic 1 will call it, Scrap Brain Zone. And I'm serious, everything in this level wants to kill you. And I'm not just talking about the deadly robots. All this stuff wants to kill you. Oh, I never noticed in the background, like, you see the, like, let's say, the venting from the industrial parks? That's really cool. Ah! It's just really hard to find solid footing in this level. Of course. Oh, I thought there was a bottomless pit there. If I don't talk a whole lot in this level, it's because I do kind of need to focus to get through this one. This is a pretty hard stage, honestly. Pretty sure that's a bottomless pit beneath me. Whatever that thing is, it's kind of cute. It's very annoying, though. Reminds me of a robot from that series, Cubics. Yes, I am that old. Da 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 da. These things are annoying. Just going this way. I swear those fire spouts just come up the worst times. See? What kind of a sick and twisted toy factory is this? Wonder how many people are gonna get that reference. Look at this madness. Trapdoors, fire spouts, electric nodes. How does Eggman live in this place? Go. Degenerates! Good grief. That actually helps tremendously, you have no idea. Really hope this isn't leading me down to a dead end though. Of course, it's gotta be a stupid little ball. Enough with the fire spouts, for crying out loud. Well, so far it doesn't look like I've had any trouble with the stream so far. That's a good thing. What is it this time, Eggman? Oh yeah, that's right. Oh great, more Labyrinth Zone. Actually, there is a reason this section is like this. By this point, the entire team was in crunch time, and they needed to get the game out the door, but they still had one more section of Scrap Brain that they need to finish. So rather than just make more of what you saw earlier, they opted to just rebrand one of the levels as Scrap Brain Zone, which I would have been fine with if you wanted to use the Labyrinth Zone aesthetic, but why did you have to have the water? Bubble up! Bubble up! For the love of Lifeson. Whenever you need to bubble up, it never does. Ah, man. Come on, bubble up, 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 bubble up! Frick! Ah. Okay, that one's actually on me. It's usually around the point of the game where I get frustrated. Bubble up! Jeez! Where's this red spring go? Bubble up. That just took me in a circle, didn't it? Know what they expect me to do there. I can't jump that high. Bubble up, bubble up, bubble up, bubble up, bubble up. Come on. Give me a bubble. I need a bubble. Just need a bubble. Hey, Glideson. I have no rings. Frick! It's really hard not cursing. Please do not send your spines at me yet, guy. Let me get a breath of air, then we'll do it. Okay, now you go. Okay, what kind of BS was that? Oh! Somehow that didn't kill me. Ooh, man, that was tight. Enough with the spike balls, jeez. Yeah, I'm real sick of the water in this game. No! Come on, Sonic! No! Get out of the water. Come on, give me air, give me air, give me air, give me air! Walked into that one. Got time to screw around with that. I hate Labyrinth Zone so much. Not even in Labyrinth Zone. Give me air, give me air. No, I'll bet there's a spring right there, isn't there? There's a spring right there. Oh, there's not a spring. Really glad I'm playing Origins right now. They actually took out the lives here, which is good. Bubble up. Wait a minute. Isn't he? I was supposed to go up there, wasn't I? Okay, man. And probably Eggman's best attempt to get Sonic yet. Though, just a machine that crushes him would have sufficed. Got confused there. Honestly, not a terribly difficult final boss. Had much harder than this. As far as I remember, you don't get a different boss if you have the Chaos Emeralds either, so it's not like there's a secret boss I'm missing or anything. Eggman sure is predictable here, though. How's that system even work? Get back here, you! Happy trails, Eggman. And so, that's Sonic 1. It's still pretty damn good. Well, I wouldn't say this is my favorite game in the series. My personal favorite is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'd say the best one is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. But I'm not even sure if I would put this one in the top 10 personally. I can't remember if I did or not when I did a top 10 list in 2016, but for a start to the series, this is really good. I mean, yeah, it doesn't use speed all that much, but the control is good. The level design is, for the most part, good. The graphics are fantastic for the time. Music is great. Just a great showpiece of what the Genesis could do at the time. And it still holds up pretty well today. Now, it's not perfect. Like, Labyrinth Zone is easily the worst part of the game. That is a very, very clearly poorly designed stage. I don't care how you slice that. But I still have fun every time I play it. If you haven't played it before, I do recommend trying it as part of the Sonic Origins collection. But only if you can get it on sale. I'm not sure the collection is worth $40. They're coming out with Origins Plus here soon, which will have supposedly they're going to iron out some of the issues the collection had, in addition to adding all the Game Gear titles, which is a good deal of extra content. Maybe then it'll be worth $40, but for now, I would say just wait for a sale, or you could play it on the many of other consoles that's been released on. I think maybe 6 different versions of this game. I got Sonic Origins, Sonic Make Collection, the DS Collection, Sonic Genesis Collection, Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. Oh yeah, Sonic Origins also has these neat little animated cutscenes too. Hey, there's that 7th Chaos Emerald. That's kind of neat. Beautiful animation, too. I really wish the team behind this would do a full Sonic series. Not to speak ill will of Sonic Prime or anything like that, but you just look at that and the first thing you say to yourself is Sonic. So anyway, that's Sonic the Hedgehog. I hope you enjoyed watching me play that. How much time do we have left on the clock? We still have a full half hour, so that's not enough time for... I should have thought about that. Okay, so next time we look at the Sonic series, we're going to be looking at the 8-bit version of the game for the Master System and Game Gear. So I think what I'm going to do there is I'll have the Master System version ready to go. But I'll also have the 8-bit version of Sonic 2 ready to go, because that would be next on the list. Believe it or not, the Game Gear version of Sonic 2 actually came out before the Genesis version that we all know and love. That way, if I finish with that game before the allotted time, which I probably will, the Game Gear games are notoriously short, we'll just go straight into Sonic 2, and that'll actually work out well, because that way we can sort of get into the games I know you guys would really like to see on here a bit sooner. So, yeah, that's Sonic the Hedgehog. If you enjoyed watching me play these games, listen to me talk about them, be sure to like and subscribe. I do these videos every Saturday at 8, or at least I'm going to try to. Next week, we are going to be taking a look at often unsung hero of the PlayStation 3 era, and that is Resistance: Fall of Man. You guys have a good work week, and just take care. Play it out.